Have you ever found yourself just stuck, caught in that relentless loop of thoughts? You know, the one where your mind just keeps replaying stuff like past conversations, going over every single word, or maybe, endlessly trying to figure out future scenarios that, let's be honest, might never even happen. It's super common, actually. And for a lot of people, it's a huge source of unhappiness, like a constant drain, keeping us from just being present. So today on the Deep Seek Diaries, we're going to dive deep into a resource that, well, it promises to help us break free from that exact cycle. We're looking at Stop Overthinking, 23 techniques to relieve stress, stop negative spirals, declutter your mind, and focus on the present. The author is Nick Trenton. And what's interesting is this is actually book 1 of 21 in a series called The Path to Calm. So it suggests, a much bigger journey. If you're someone looking for maybe a direct, really actionable way to get some mental clarity, to live more in the present moment, then this deep dive could be a great shortcut. We're basically boiling down the key stuff from a really highly rated book so you can quickly see if it's for you and maybe start applying some of the wisdom. It's about getting that knowledge efficiently right. Before we go on, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like the video. This podcast is known as the Deep Seek Diaries, and you can find us on the major social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Linked in the description section are all the resources and discussion today, including books, websites, and so on. Please go through our terms and conditions as soon as you can. Now sit back and enjoy the podcast. Okay, so let's really unpack this core problem the book tackles. Nick Trenton, he jumps right in, opens with a pretty bold statement. Overthinking is the biggest cause of unhappiness. He doesn't just call it like a bad habit. He actually frames it as a self-imposed mental prison.
That's striking imagery, isn't it? A prison you build yourself.
Exactly. Brick by mental brick, kind of. With all that rumination holding it together, it really drives home how overthinking traps us, in these cycles of anxiety, stress.
Yeah, constantly agonizing over the past, trying to predict the future.
Right. So the main mission of the book is, well, it sounds simple, but it's hard. Stay present. Focus your mind on what actually matters right now.
Freeing yourself from that internal chatter about things that often, don't even happen.
Yeah, recognizing that the only time we really have any power is right now.
Oh, what's really fascinating about Trenton's approach, I think, is that he goes way beyond just saying, hey, overthinking is bad.
Mm-hmm.
The book is much more proactive. It promises, and I'm quoting here, detailed and proven techniques to help you rewire your brain, control your thoughts, and change your mental habits.
Rewire your brain. That sounds pretty intense.
Well, it taps into neuroplasticity, right? The idea that our brains can actually change, form new connections. So these techniques aren't just mental tricks. They're potentially helping your brain learn new ways to respond.
Ah, okay. So breaking those old, unhelpful thought patterns.
Exactly. And he even claims to provide scientific approaches to completely change the way you think and feel about yourself by ending the vicious thought patterns. So it's aiming for a really holistic shift. Mind and emotions. It's not just symptom management.
That promise of deeper change rooted in science, that's definitely appealing.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of why it connects with people.
And it makes you wonder about the author, Nick Trenton. Interestingly, he grew up on a farm, rural Illinois.
Huh, okay. Not what you might expect.
Right. Apparently he had a dachshund named Leonard. But jokes aside, he went on to get a BS in economics and then an MA in behavioral psychology.
Ah, that combination is interesting. Economics and behavior.
Yeah, decision-making, incentives, plus human motivation. And he describes himself, I like this, as a professional expert at people watching.
Okay, so not just academic theory, but real-world observation.
Exactly. How do you think that kind of blend the academic plus the, street-level observation, how does that come across in the book's techniques?
That's a great point. I think it's probably why it feels so practical to many readers. The people watching suggests he's focused on what you can actually see working, what people do. So combined with the behavioral psychology, he can take these complex ideas and just boil them down into actionable steps. Less about the deep abstract theory.
And more about the how-to.
Exactly. More about the tools you can pick up and use right away to start changing those mental habits. It's very direct.
That makes total sense. And yeah, that focus on actionable steps is really where the book shines. I mean, the title promises 23 techniques, right?
And it delivers. It's definitely a toolkit.
Yeah, a toolkit full of strategies to stop that rumination, stop dwelling on the negative stuff. It's practical. It talks about powerful ways to become really aware of your specific negative spiral triggers. The things that reliably send you down that rabbit hole.
Knowing what kicks it off is half the battle, isn't it?
Totally. And he teaches you how to identify, recognize your inner anxieties, sort of bring them out into the open instead of letting them just fester. Maybe using things like cognitive journaling or just simple self-observation.
And when you talk about cognitive restructuring, which comes up in the book.
Right. For listeners, that's basically learning to challenge and change those automatic, unhelpful thoughts, the ones that fuel the overthinking.
It's like learning to question that first negative reaction instead of just accepting it as truth.
Exactly. Building a more balanced view, changing that inner voice from critical to maybe more constructive.
And the book also guides you on keeping your focus on, well, relaxation and action, getting you unstuck from just thinking and into doing.
Yeah, moving away from that mental paralysis. Plus, it offers methods for handling those really overwhelming stress attacks, and importantly, how to just declutter your mind. Find some focus in all the noise.
And this leads us to some of the real gems that readers highlighted, things that connect to the bigger picture of just feeling better mentally. The book is really good at distilling complex ideas into practical wisdom. Like one of the top highlights, 5,787 Kindle readers noted this one. It emphasizes acceptance, but it clarifies. Acceptance doesn't mean we agree with what happened or that we like it and shouldn't try to change it. It only means we gracefully come to terms with what we can't realistically change so we can focus on what we can.
Wow, that's powerful. Reframing acceptance. It's not giving up.
Not at all. It's an active choice. You stop fighting the unchangeable, acknowledge it, and then put your energy where it actually can make a difference.
That shift alone, yeah, that could be huge for people.
Absolutely. And then there's another one highlighted by over 5,500 readers. Communicate your needs and feelings directly rather than suffering in silence.
So it brings in the relational side of things too.
Exactly. Holding it all in can just fuel the anxiety, right? But speaking up, expressing needs that can clear the air, fix misunderstandings, build better connections.
Which in turn reduces the triggers for overthinking later on. Makes sense. It's not just an internal battle.
Precisely. And then this one got highlighted by over 5,800 readers, so it clearly hit home for many. Many of us have become habitual overthinkers because it gives us the illusion that we're doing something of the problem we're overthinking about.
Ooh, that's a big one. The illusion of doing something.
Yeah, it's a trap, isn't it? All that mental energy feels like work, like you're solving the problem. But biffin, it's just spinning your wheels. Unproductive rumination.
Recognizing that illusion feels like a crucial first step. Separating real problem solving from just mental churning.
Totally. Shifting from feeling like you're acting to actually acting.
And that difference perceived action versus actual action, that's key to using these techniques, right? And the great thing is the book offers a pretty wide range of applications. It's definitely not one size fits all.
Right. There's mindfulness practices to help you ground yourself in the present.
We mentioned the cognitive restructuring tools to challenge those unhelpful thoughts.
And there are self-reflection exercises, too, designed to help you understand your own patterns better, figure out your triggers, build that self-awareness.
Ultimately, it feels like it's about empowering you, the reader, to take charge, to actually use these tools in your daily life. It's about doing, not just reading.
So, thinking about who this book is really for, it seems ideal for anyone genuinely struggling with overthinking, looking for practical ways to get some peace, some mental clarity. And reviewers definitely back this up, often mentioning how helpful it is for anxiety specifically.
Yeah, that comes up a lot in the reviews.
And it seems particularly good for people who, like one reviewer said, want to look up strategies rather than delve into the background.
So if you want actionable steps you can use now, without needing tons of theory or case studies first.
Exactly. If that's you, this book is probably a really good fit. It gets straight to the point.
Okay. So who might it not be for then?
Well, if you're looking for, say, lots of detailed case studies showing the techniques in action, or maybe a really deep academic exploration of the psychology and the research behind overthinking.
This might feel a bit light.
Yeah, potentially. If you're maybe a therapist or a psych student wanting a comprehensive theoretical breakdown, you might find it a bit too general. It's very much a self-help guide, focused on the how, not necessarily the deep why or extensive research validation. Its strength is its directness.
I hope you are enjoying the topic so far. Please subscribe to the Deep Seek Diaries and like this video. Don't forget you can find us on the major social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Linked in the description section are all the resources in discussion today, including books, websites, and so on. So, okay, we've talked about the techniques, the author, who it's for, What about the general reception? What are people actually saying on places like Amazon? Well, Stop Overthinking has definitely made waves. It's got a solid 4.3 out of 5 stars overall, which is pretty strong. And that's from, get this, over 12,900 global ratings.
Wow, that's a lot of feedback.
It really is. And the breakdown is impressive, too. 60% are 5-star reviews. Another 22% gave it 4 stars. So overwhelmingly positive.
And when you dig into what people are saying in those reviews, some clear themes pop up, right? Things that echo what we've been discussing. Amazon's own AI summary points this out. Reviewers consistently praise the great tips for overthinking, saying it gives practical techniques and exercises. That matches its core promise perfectly.
The practicality seems key.
Definitely. People also often say it's easy to read, which is a big plus, and not too jargon heavy. You don't need a special degree to get it.
Accessibility is huge for self-help.
Absolutely. And they often mention it's well-structured, so it's easy to follow and find what you need. Plus, you see this strong feeling that it's worth the time and money. Lots of comments like helpful or that the techniques all really work.
That's high praise that they actually work.
It is. And one comment really stood out to me. Someone said, it made me feel that there was hope and a way to feel better.
Ah, that's powerful. Shows the emotional impact it can have.
Yeah, it really highlights its ability to offer genuine relief. So that consistent praise for being practical, accessible, and effective seems to be the main takeaway for most readers.
Okay, but we need the balanced view. Were there criticisms, things people didn't like?
Oh, for sure. No book is perfect, right?
Yeah.
A recurring point, though maybe minor for some, was about regular spelling mistakes and typos. Some mentioned words run together, things like that.
Yeah. That can be distracting, even if the content is good.
Definitely pulls you out of it a bit. And one reviewer actually posted pictures of faulty print, saying every page was slanted.
Ouch! That sounds like a production issue, but still frustrating for that reader.
Very. And on a more content-related note, echoing what we discussed about who it might not be for, some reviewers, like one detailed take from Joe Befelt, felt the case examples are also sparse and largely abstract.
Not enough real-life stories to illustrate the points.
Kind of. And that same reviewer noted there's relatively little space dedicated to underlying psychological theories or explanations. So again, if you want the deep dive into the why or learn best through concrete examples, it might feel a little lacking there.
Got it. So those criticisms seem to align with its focus on being a direct toolkit rather than an academic text.
Exactly. Our deep dive pretty much lines up with what most customers are saying. The book's real strength is that actionable advice, the practical guidance. That's what makes it so accessible. The typos and print issues are definite drawbacks, no question. But for most people, it seems the value of the content, the actual techniques, outweighs those flaws.
So it delivers on its main promise, practical strategies.
Overwhelmingly, yes. Even if it's not a deep theoretical treatise, it sets out to be a practical toolkit. And on that front, it seems to succeed for a huge number of readers.
Okay, so wrapping this up then. Stop Overthinking by Nick Trenton. It really seems to stand out as a very practical, very actionable guide for anyone really looking to cut down on stress, break those negative thought cycles, and just live more in the present. It gives you that toolkit, 23 techniques designed to empower you.
Yeah, its strength is definitely that directness, the focus on putting things into practice right away. It gives you a clear path towards hopefully more mental peace, more potential. It's all about understanding how overthinking works and then applying that knowledge to actually change your mental habits, building resilience, building presence.
So thinking about that emphasis on action, on shifting from just ruminating to being present. Here's maybe a final thought for you, the listener. What's one small thing, one concrete step you could maybe take this week? Perhaps using just one idea from these techniques we talked about. Something to quiet that busy mind, even just a little, and reclaim some focus.
Maybe just identifying one trigger or trying 1 minute of mindfulness, see what happens.
Exactly, just one small step. Well, I hope you have enjoyed today's deep dive on the Deep Seek Diaries. Please don't forget to check out the linked resources in the description section. Hit the subscribe and like buttons as you head off if you haven't already. Until the next deep dive, goodbye.